Hi, everybody. My name is Tim Errickson. I'm the artistic director of the Boomerang Theater Company, and I'm here with playwright Mike DeVito. How you doing, Mike?
Hi, how are you, Tim?
Good, buddy. Where are you sequestered right now?
I'm in Hartsdale, New York.
All right. How's it all been going so far?
It's good, man. I'm lucky enough to have a job that I can do from home, so I have, I'm not thankfully among the many unemployed people right now, furloughed people right now. So in that sense, I'm very lucky, and we've been healthy, so I'm very lucky in that sense as well. So
very cool. That's awesome.
Going great, as well as can be expected.
So a little bit of background on Mike. Mike is a playwright and a high school teacher, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure I got that right. And Mike has had plays in the 2010 Fringe Festival here in New York City. And we've been working on a couple of different projects with Mike over the years, the most recent being a play called Shooter. Active Shooter. I'm sorry. Active Shooter. Good job. I keep saying that wrong. Active Shooter. And so I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about writing. I mean, how is writing and being creative through all this? How are you managing that?
I'm not working on a play right now. So I've had to sort of find other outlets to write because I do feel the need and the drive, especially, being sequestered, being quarantined. So I've actually been working on a baseball blog. That's what I'm spending a lot of time on these days. And I'm always thinking about plays, and I'm very interested to see what kind of theater is going to come out of the COVID experience, because it's really a very theatrical situation to be trapped in a house, sometimes with people that maybe you don't want to be trapped in a house with.
It's a little no exit.
Yeah, exactly, right. I'm kind of fascinated by that, and the wheels are turning. But I'm not actively working on a script right now.
Okay. So even when you're writing the baseball blog, what's your writing process like? Do you like to write early in the morning? Do you like late at night? I mean, you've got kids, so I mean that must be a different challenge into itself as well.
Yeah, my kids are 14 and 12 now, so they don't want to talk to me. So it's a little easier than it was, 8 years ago. Usually in the afternoon, and you just got to carve out time in the house in the afternoon for me lately. Let's say between 4 and 7, where I'm going to just get down here, close the door and work for, I think a post probably takes me about 2 hours, a little bit of research, a little bit of organization, and then writing it. And I get kind of lost in it. Stephen King wrote once that the most important tool you need as a writer is a door. And I've found that to be true.
Where in the house do you go down to write?
So you can see, my students see this too. If you can see behind me, it's a laundry room, right? But I'm also at my desk. So I have a desk in the laundry room. So this is where I'm sitting. But whenever I'm online with anybody, I got the
That's awesome.
Yeah. Make sure the dryer's not going at certain.
Well, it's nice that you're down there. You can change from the washer to the dryer. You can clean the lint trap. It's all good.
Yeah, I get the text.
When you're down there, do you try and write every day, or do you have a schedule during the week that you try and keep to, or is it just sort of when you feel it?
Well, with the baseball blog, it's just posts based on games. So I'm either watching a game or I'm writing about a game, and it's pretty much every other day or every third day.
Yeah.
And I'm actually doing the writing. When I'm working on a script, though, it's got to be a routine. And the routine is different for every play depending on what's going on, but it's got to be the same amount of time. It's got to be the same time. It's got to be the same day every week or 2 days every week. But I just know that that's the work that has to be done, and I'm going to go down and go to work.
Nice. That's awesome. Did you pick that up from anywhere, or did that just sort of find itself naturally? That's the rhythm that you found when you were writing.
I think I probably got that advice, reading about writing. I mean, I think most writers talk about routine. And so I've definitely cultivated that, and that's how I work in my regular life too. I mean, if I'm going to grade a set of papers, I've got to set the time. I've got to know exactly when I'm going. I got to spend 2 hours, whatever it's going to be, doing that work and getting it done, and then crossing it off the list.
Yeah.
So it just suits me, I think.
Yeah. When you mentioned doing the research for the baseball blog, when you are, and obviously I think a lot of your plays have a very historical or significant time period element to them, right? I'm thinking of the Cuba play, and I'm thinking of Active Shooter with its historical elements to it. Like, are you a fan of research?
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I really do get lost, especially if I'm thinking sort of imaginatively. So I'm kind of fascinated by, historical situations that create the backdrop for drama.
Mm-hmm.
So getting the little details exactly right. What would this character say in this situation? That's a little different with Active Shooter because it's very fanciful. But when I'm sort of when I've set something in an actual historical period, I really enjoy those little details that come out in conversations, kind of finding them,
And for a play like the Active Shooter, how much research has gone into the script so far? I mean, there's a lot of detail that I remember from court cases, and there's a lot of law in there. Like, how long did you have to research before you were writing it?
A lot. Well, it actually started as a paper, believe it or not. I had it in my head that I was going to write a scholarly paper about the Second Amendment. And so I did a lot of research and a lot of reading about the Second Amendment. And then I was working on the other side of my brain, I guess, on this play about, a school shooting. It's something you fear as a teacher,
Yeah.
And I don't exactly know how it happened, but the two projects literally merged, and it became a theater piece about the Second Amendment. So a lot of the research was going way back, years back, and just sort of notes that I had kept and taken and thought about and revisited.
Yeah.
And then they found their way into the script.
Yeah, it's funny how things like that work. Like you'll have a part of your brain that has this piece of information in it that you got for some random reason, and then suddenly it's in the new thing, or it fits somehow,
Yeah, and I think that's the process. I know that I want to write a play about religion one day, and someday it's going to click. Someday it's all just going to come together in my head exactly how that works. I'm thinking about all the different little pieces before I even know that they're pieces of anything. It's kind of sort of an exciting thing.
Good. So you're taking on school violence, politics, religion, that, just all the light topics of the day, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not writing comedy. I don't do farts. I don't know. I've tried. It doesn't work.
What's one of the best pieces of advice you've gotten as a writer? People, either things you read or things you've heard somebody say in a talk.
Yeah, I thought about that question, and there's a definite answer for me. It came from a guy named Richard Caliban. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah.
So I did some Gotham courses with him, and then he had this writers group for a while that I was a part of, and he hammered away at the idea of the balanced argument, that the most important thing you need, if you think about what plays are arguments, the discussions, the most important thing you have to do is create a balanced argument. So you as the writer have to be fully empathetic with every side of the argument, and that's what's going to create complexity. And I just think about it all the time. Just how does this argument stay balanced?
Yeah, that's really interesting. My wife and I always talk about the relationship with having a fair fight.
Yeah.
Just in life, and then I think that carries over into art as well.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about? What's anything you want to plug? We're coming up to the end of our little chat here officially for the crew. So
you know what? I have at the moment an average of 8 readers per post on my baseball blog. So baseball in the time of Corona, I'm looking at old World Series and then analyzing the games and the decisions that are made, and I'm having a blast with it. And I'd love people to read it.
Yeah, we'll put it in the post. It'll be there.
Okay.
What's the URL for it? Is it baseball in the time?
Baseball in the time of Corona.blogspot.com.
All right, that's awesome.
Thank you, Tim. That's great.
Awesome. So, Mike, this has been fun. Thank you.
Stay
safe, and we'll see you soon.
You too. Thanks very much, Tim.
You got it.